A local nonprofit that was founded in 1979 is dedicated to improving the lives of pets and people in the community, providing caring, compassion, and hope to more than 6,000 homeless animals entering their doors each year. Coming up, we'll take a look at how they help animals find their new forever homes when they're surrendered to their care. Welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Brian Lacey. Joining me in studio is Connie Johnson. She's the Safety Net Manager at SPCA Florida. Welcome to the show.
Hello there.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has been, yes.
Yeah, it's been so long. We've got new furniture.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love the studio. It looks great.
It's comfortable.
Yeah, my words exactly.
Yeah, and I liked your question. Does it have a massager?
It would be nice, but it's okay.
It's been a while since you've been here, and we want to talk a little bit about the surrendering of animals, not only in Polk County, but it's really kind of a nationwide, for lack of a better word, epidemic.
It is.
Talk to me a little bit about what's going on in this country with animals.
Back when, I want to say 30 years or whatever, when the local municipalities had what they called a pound, the shelters, and when people had hard times, which they still do, they would not be able to keep their animal, and they would be able to relinquish them, and they would be taken care of. However, through the years, it has become quite a epidemic, like you said. People will get animals and not realize that these pets are going to need care for 10 to 15 years. And they'll have them, if they get a puppy, everybody gets a cute little puppy or a kitten, because they're cute, they're adorable, but they forget to realize, or they're not educated at the time that they get them, to know that when you get one, you have to train it, you have to teach it like a child. There needs to be boundaries, guidelines. You know, if not, they become a burden. They usually get put in the backyard, and then they really are out of control, and then they just are tired of them, and they bring them to the shelters, and then we have to do the work, which we gladly do. However, when people surrender their animals, it shouldn't be for that reason. They shouldn't get them if they're not into the long run with the animal.
One thing that you said before we even started the interview is if people took it more so like a contract.
A contract or having a child, either way. You know, it's not something that you just have today, and when it's inconvenient, you can just dump it.
It's as if we're a disposable society.
Absolutely. It's a culture that the shelters actually created themselves many years ago, saying, oh, it's okay, we'll take your animal if you can't take care of it. But then they started being taken advantage of, and we still take them, and we always will. But it's not inexpensive to care for these animals. And unlike a government facility, we only get donations. We don't have money coming in from anyone other than those that donate to us. So there is a cost to it. And there has always been the fees, the surrender fees. It's just that now, and it actually is a national campaign to try to educate the communities and the public that if you're going to surrender, then you have to help us with that. We will take your animal, we will care for your animal, but there is a financial agreement between us at that point. Some people can't, and we get that. There's always going to be those exceptions. It's not changed, but it's just one of those things that Polk County is a large community. I mean, it's huge, and there are a lot of animals that go into the county shelter as well. But SPCA, we try to work with these animals and get them into homes, because that's where our hearts are, and we need help. We need help when people surrender their animals to understand that, yes, we'll take them. It's an arrangement. It's a deal. Yeah. We'll take care of your animal, but you need to help us with some costs, because we have to vaccinate. Usually we have to spay neuter.
Some of the costs.
We have to house them. We feed them. We take care of them. We have 90 staff, because you have to take care of these animals. We have our behavior divisions in canine and feline, where we teach the animals to socialize, because a lot of these people did not do that with them, and so then therefore they're considered unadoptable. Yeah. We make them adoptable so that they can go into homes.
So what are some of the fees going to be as far as surrendering animals?
I think it's like probably $25 for an animal, which doesn't even begin to touch what we put into an animal. The vaccinations alone cost that much. And then you're talking about the care and the surgeries. And some of these animals have a lot of medical issues as well, not just, to be spayed, neutered, and vaccinated. They have broken legs. They have skin issues. They could have a mass that needs to be removed. A lot of different things. And it's things that we choose to do, but we also need help financially with that.
What are some of the ways that you're, other than fees, what are some of the other ways that you can combat that cost for that animal?
We do a lot of fundraisers. When we are low on like kitty litter, for example, we'll put out a plea on Facebook and let people know we're in need. We need kitty litter, and many people donate a lot of in-kind things, dog food, cat food, kitty litter, toys, blankets, towels, money. They give us money as well because we need that.
As we heard in the opening, 6,000 animals a year are placed in forever homes. Talk about what it takes from the kindness of the community to your volunteers to make sure that these animals that are possibly being abandoned, for lack of better word, that the care that they're getting and for what the folks are giving to take care of this problem.
Well, our animals get a lot. Our shelter dogs, for example, we have a program that it's play groups. We teach all the dogs that come in there, that if they're long enough, without getting adopted first, how to socialize with other dogs. That's super important because if you're a dog person, most people don't have just one, they'll have two. Or they like to go to the dog park, or they like to take their animal with them. A lot of the animals that come to us, like I said earlier, are those that were gotten as a puppy, not trained or socialized or taught any boundaries or guidelines, and they're tossed in the backyard and they absolutely don't know how to act. So we teach them how to act. We can have 25 dogs out at one time playing. We do the same.
I've been out there.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It is fun. It is fun. But there's a lot of work to get to that point with these animals. They don't just walk out of the kennel and go in there and go, oh, okay, we're going to play. It doesn't work that way. The same with our felines, with our kitties. A lot of them are almost feral. And our volunteers are golden. We really rely on our volunteers to help as well, to help socialize these animals with people and with other animals too. So we put all that into it because we love them and we want them to have a home.
And one of the things that folks might not know at home, each of you are kind, caring, loving individuals, and you're advocates for the animals. But sometimes the job calls for a little bit more, and you were a key part of Ponce's Law. Mm-hmm. Talk to me a little bit about that, if you would, Connie.
Ponce's Law is very near and dear to me, very close to my heart. There was a 10-year-old lab in Ponce Inlet by Daytona Beach that his owner left him loose in the house, went out to do something, and came back, and Ponce had eaten some of his papers. He literally beat the dog to death. I mean, broke every bone in his body. It was horrific. And the community decided, we are tired of people getting away with this and not being punished. So one of the girls that lives over there, she created a petition. She happens to be she works for a law firm. So she created a petition. She got her representative to sponsor it, and it was doing really great. And right before it was going to be heard at the House, voted on by the House, is when the shooting in South Florida in the school took place, and rightfully so. Everything got pushed aside, as it should. And luckily, the day before session, a lot of us, we made some phone calls. We talked to people that we know and explained to them that, animal abuse is where this starts. It's where child abuse, domestic abuse, these people, these mass shooters that go out and kill 1 million people, in most cases, they have started with animal abuse. So if we told the legislators, if you really want to make a difference for the kids in the schools and for people in general, you need to start at the beginning, and this is where it starts. Well, lo and behold, they listened, because it wasn't on the calendar, and at 2 o'clock, the last day of session, I got a call from the Speaker of the House, and he said, you are absolutely right. He said, that makes so much sense. We're going to vote on your bill at 5:30 today. They voted on it and it passed 109-0.
Wow.
In 1 year, it was created and passed. That's like unheard of. But it's just, people are tired of the animal abuse. We see it more than most.
And what exactly does the law say?
Well, what it does is it toughens the penalties. The judges will now be able to sentence the criminals or the abusers, I should say, to a level 5 rather than a level 3 on the point system for the felonies, which in comparison, it says if you own a car junkyard and you have a car without a title, that's illegal. You get a citation. If you are driving and you are involved in a car accident and you leave the scene, that is much more serious. You go to jail. That's what it is now.
Okay.
So they will go to jail. You abuse animals, you are going to jail.
Well, Connie, as an animal lover, and of course 2 black labs of my
Yep.
own.
Oh, then you would love Pops.
I love your effort and your heart and your soul that you put into these animals, and
Yep.
everything that you guys do at SPCA is great.
SPCA Florida we stand behind it. I mean, we stand behind changing the culture of the community on the surrender fees. We stand behind changing the laws in animal abuse, because it's very important to all of us there. Very important.
Well, thank you for coming in today.
My
I
pleasure.
really appreciate you stopping by. Come back soon, will you?
I will, I promise.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Each surrendered cat to SPCA Florida costs roughly $210, while each surrendered dog costs roughly $250. Many limited admittance shelters are now charging for all surrenders, making pet owners feel and understand the responsibility for their pet or pets paramount in attempting to change behavior. SPCA Florida's goal is to make owners and people who pick up strays accountable for their actions, while guiding our community to thinking that animals are not disposable. The goal is to seek accountability and compliance among pet owners as it relates to Polk County Animal Services standards. The net benefit of establishing this policy is to ensure SPCA Florida does not tie up valuable cage space with hold periods ranging between 4 and 10 days. Now, if you need more information on the surrender fees, you can give them a call at 863-646-7722 or look them up on the web at www.spcaflorida.org.